Yep. Good morning, good morning, good morning. This is Jamar Johnson, and I am your host today for 365 Reading. And we know that 365 Reading is sponsored by the American Corporation, Literacy Corporation, with Mr. Floyd Stokes. And we are so glad that we will be reading on virtually on Facebook 365 days starting. It started on October the 1st, 2020, and it will end September the 30th, 2021. Hopefully, you are following our page. Right now, we want you to share this. Make sure you like this. We have two phenomenal readers on today that will be taking this time to read. The first person, she is no stranger. She has read for the 100 Women's Reading, and that is none other than Miss Debi Johnson. And I'm going to ask if she can come on screen at this time. She will be reading for us today. And then right following her, we will have none other than Mr. Jim Gallagher. He is actually a familiar face with us, and he will be reading following Miss Debi Johnson. So I'm just going to open it up, and Miss Debi Johnson, she's going to give you a brief introduction of who she is, what she does, and then she's going to tell you what book she's reading for today. Take it away, Miss Debi.
Good morning. My name is Debbie Johnson. I'm a retired therapist who is now very busy trying to be a learning coach to my grandchildren while they do cyber education due to COVID. The book that I'm going to read is Mufaro's Beautiful Daughter. It's a book that I used to read to my daughter when she was a little girl, and I also read it to my granddaughter, who now actually reads it to me. And it's based on an African folk tale, and I'll just get right into it. And it's written by John Steptoe. A long time ago, in a certain place in Africa, a small village lay across a river and half a day's journey from a city where a great king lived. A man named Mufaro lived in this village with his two daughters, who were called Manyara and Nyasha. Everyone agreed that Manyara and Nyasha were very beautiful. I'll try to give you the picture here. Okay. Manyara was almost always in a bad temper. She teased her sister whenever their father's back was turned, and she had been heard to say, "Someday, Nyasha, I will be a queen, and you will be a servant in my household." "If that should come to pass," Nyasha responded, "I will be pleased to serve you. But why do you say such things? You are clever and strong and beautiful. Why are you so unhappy?" "Because everyone talks about how kind you are, and they praise everything you do," Manyara replied. "I'm certain that father loves you best. But when I am queen, everyone will know that your silly kindness is only weakness." I'm not sure how well you can see the picture, but I'll do my best. This is Manyara, and this is Nyasha. Nyasha was sad that Manyara felt this way, but she ignored her sister's words and went about her chores. Nyasha kept a small plot of land on which she grew millet, sunflowers, yams, and vegetables. She always sang as she worked, and some said it was her singing that made her crops more bountiful than anyone else's. One day, Nyasha noticed a small garden snake resting beneath a yam vine. "Good day, little Nyoka," she called to him. "You are welcome here. You will keep away any creatures who might spoil my vegetables." She bent forward, gave the little snake a loving pat on the head, and then returned to work. From that day on, Nyoka was always at Nyasha's side when she tended her garden. It was said that she sang all the more sweetly when, excuse me, when he was there. Mufara knew nothing of how Manyara treated Nyasha. Nyasha was too considerate of her father's feelings to complain, and Manyara was always careful to behave herself when Mufara was around. Early one morning, a messenger from the city arrived. The great king wanted a wife. The most worthy and beautiful daughters in the land are invited to appear before the king, and he will choose one to become queen, the messenger proclaimed. Mufaro called Manyara and Nyasha to him. It would be a great honor to have one of you chosen, he said. Prepare yourselves to journey to the city. I will call together all our friends to make a wedding party. We will leave tomorrow as the sun rises. But my father, Manyara said sweetly, it would be painful for either of us to leave you, even to be wife to the king. I know Nyasha would grieve to death if she were parted from you. I am strong. Send me to the city, and let poor Nyasha be happy with you. Mufaro beamed with pride. The king has asked for the most worthy and the most beautiful. No, Manyara, I cannot send you alone. Only a king can choose between two such worthy daughters. Both of you must go. That night, when everyone was asleep, Manyara stole quietly out of the village. She had never been in the forest at night before, and she was frightened, but her greed to be the first to appear before the king drove her on. In her hurry, she almost stumbled over a small boy who suddenly appeared standing in the path. Please, said the boy, I am hungry. Will you give me something to eat? I have brought only enough for myself, Manyara replied. But please, said the boy, I am so very hungry. Out of my way, boy. Tomorrow I will become your queen. How dare you stand in my path? After traveling for what seemed to be quite a great distance, Manyara came to a small clearing. There, silhouetted against the moonlight, was an old woman seated on a large stone. The old woman spoke. I will give you some advice, Manyara. Soon after you pass the place where the two paths cross, you will see a grove of trees. They will laugh at you. You must not laugh in return. Later, you will meet a man with his head in his arms. You must be polite to him. How do you know my name? How dare you advise your future queen? Stand aside, you ugly old woman, Manyara scolded, and then rushed on her way without looking back. Just as the woman had foretold, Manyara came to a grove of trees, and they did indeed seem to be laughing at her. I must be calm, Manyara thought. I will not be frightened. She looked up at the trees and laughed out loud. I laugh at you, trees, she shouted, and she hurried on. It was not yet dawn when Manyara heard the sound of rushing water. The river must be up ahead, she thought. The great city is just on the other side. But there, on the rise, she saw a man with his head tucked under his arms. Minyara ran past him without speaking. A queen acknowledges only those who pleases her, she said to herself. I will be queen. I will be queen, she chanted as she hurried on toward the city. Nyasha woke at the first light of dawn. As she put on her finest garments, she thought how her life might be changed forever beyond this day. I'd much prefer to live here, she admitted to herself. I'd hate to leave this village and never see my father or sing to little Nyoka again. Her thoughts were interrupted by loud shouts and a commotion from the wedding party assembled outside. Manyara was missing. Everyone bustled about, searching and calling for her. When they found her footprints on the path that led to the city, they decided to go as planned. As the wedding party moved through the forest, brightly plumed birds darted about in the cool green shadows beneath the trees. Though anxious about her sister, Nyasha was soon filled with excitement about all there was to see. They were deep in the forest when she saw the small boy standing by the side of the path. You must be hungry, she said, and handed him a yam she had brought for her lunch. The boy smiled and disappeared as quietly as he had come. Later, as they were approaching the place where the two paths crossed, the old woman appeared and silently pointed the way to the city. Nyasha thanked her and gave her a small pouch filled with sunflower seeds. The sun was high in the sky when the party came to the grove of towering trees. Their uppermost branches seemed to bow down to Nyasha as she passed beneath them. At last, someone announced that they were near their destination. Nyasha ran ahead and topped the rise before the others could catch up with her. She stood transfixed at her first sight of the city. "Oh, my father," she called. "A great spirit must stand guard here. Just look at what lies before us. I never in all my life dreamed there could be anything so beautiful." Arm in arm, Nyasha and her father descended the hill, crossed the river, and approached the city gates. Just as they entered through the great doors, the air was rent by piercing cries, and Minyara ran wildly out of a chamber at the center of the enclosure. When she saw Nyasha, she fell upon her, sobbing. "Do not go to the king, my sister. Oh, please, father, do not let her go," she cried hysterically. "There's a great monster there, a snake with 5 heads. He said that he knew all my faults and that I had displeased him. He would have swallowed me alive if I had not run. Oh, my sister, please do not go inside that place." It frightened Nyasha to see her sister so upset, but leaving her father to comfort Minyara, she bravely made her way to the chamber and opened the door. On the seat of the great chief's stool lay a little garden snake. Nyasha laughed with relief and joy. "My little friend," she exclaimed, "it's such a pleasure to see you, but why are you here?" "I am the king," Nyoka replied. And there before Nyasha's eyes, the garden snake changed shape. I'm not sure how well you can see these pictures. I apologize. "I am the king. I am also the hungry boy with whom you shared a yam in the forest, and the old woman to whom you made a gift of sunflower seeds. But you know me best as Nyoka. Because I have been all of these, I know you to be the most worthy and most beautiful daughter in the land. It would make me very happy if you would be my wife." And so it was that a long time ago, Nyasha agreed to be married. The king's mother and sisters took Nyasha to their house, and the wedding preparations began. The best weavers in the land laid out their finest cloth for her wedding garments. Villagers from all around were invited to the celebration, and a great feast was held. Nyasha prepared the bread for the wedding feast from millet she had brought that had been brought from her village. Mufaro proclaimed to all who would hear him that he was the happiest father in all the land, for he was blessed with 2 beautiful and worthy daughters, Nyasha the queen, and Manyara, a servant in the queen's household. Here's another picture. Not sure how well you're able to see those. And that concludes my story.
All right. All right. All right. Let me get on camera. There we go. All right, Miss Debbie, thank you so much. I love that book. Of the illustration. I love the one thing I did like about it is the fact that it's just nice to be nice and you never know who that person turn out to be.
You never know. That's right. Treat
And
everyone
that
with
yeah, she treated everybody the same. And I think that's important for people to know, as well as young people, that we have to treat people with respect because you never know who that person is. And then besides that, it's just nice to be nice. That's what I think it is. So what made you choose that book?
Well, for the exactly same reason, I always, like I said, I read it to my daughter, she was a beautiful little girl, but it was more important to me that she was beautiful inside, and so we read this book as a constant reminder because she was always getting compliments, but I wanted them to see the beauty inside her, because she was also very beautiful inside. And I do the same with my granddaughter, because I want to make sure that she's got a good heart and that she's treating people well, and that she doesn't feel because people say you're pretty or you're beautiful, that makes you special. It's really what's inside you that makes you special. And so that's why I love this book. I was so happy I could find it, because I was like, where did she had it? So I couldn't
Right.
figure out.
Can we put up the title of that just one more time if parents want
Sure. It's
to?
Mufaro's Beautiful Daughter. It's pretty old, but I think you can still get it through Scholastic. Um,
Okay.
and it's
And I'm
written by
sure
John.
you might can find it on Amazon, or they
That's
even have it at Barnes and Noble. So take
well
a
when I
advantage.
when, I'm so sorry to interrupt you. I'm sorry. When I thought I couldn't find it, I think it's available as an ebook for like 90 something cents. So
Oh, nice.
through Scholastic. But I didn't show you the back picture. I just love the artwork.
Yes.
I don't know. I don't know if John also did the artwork. It
Well,
doesn't say. I'm assuming he may have been the artist as well.
yeah, like I said, I love the book and I love the illustration, and we really appreciate you for stopping by 365 Reading. And I'm sure that please don't let this be your last time. So just hold for one moment,
Okay.
switch over to readers to Mr. Jim Gallagher. And he is going to come on screen at this time. And he is going to be the one that's going to read. So, Jim, you can give a brief description of who you are and then also go right into your book.
Hi, everybody. So I'm sitting in my car. I'm not driving. I had an appointment with someone here this morning and wasn't able to return. I'm actually sitting across the street from a beautiful park here in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. And it's a beautiful scene. It's the Susquehanna River. And if you get a chance, wherever you are, wherever you live, to get out and breathe in this beautiful day here in Pennsylvania, we get to enjoy the fall season. All the trees are turning various colors on their leaves, and it's just beautiful. So again, do not attempt to read while driving a vehicle. So just a heads up on that. So today I'm going to read a book called A Flag for All. Okay. And I think you're going to enjoy this book. I went to the library. We were talking about being able to get ebook, and I'm thankful for all that technology that we have today. And also another source that you can have to go see and read books that you might enjoy is the library. That's what I did yesterday because I wanted to get a couple other books that I think you will enjoy. So today, again, I'm going to read A Flag for All. So here we go. The corner kids were at the library finding out about the American flag. Mr. Tuttle wanted his class to come up with a Flag Day celebration that would show all the things the flag means. The flag means a lot of things, Gabby said to 3J and Alex. Those are the three characters in this book, by the way. They're called the Corner Kids. One's name is Gabby, one's name is 3J, and the other one's name is Alex. The three friends called themselves the Corner Kids because they lived on corners of the same street. Huh, how about that? I didn't know that part before. There is a star for each state, said 3J. Gabby nodded. And the stripes are for the 13 colonies that first made up America, she said. Alex sighed. Listen to this. The flag means different things to different people. They're in the library reading about the flag. How will we find out what it means to everybody? Asked 3J. We'll ask, said Gabby. 3J's eyes opened wide. Everybody? He asked. Gabby laughed. No, silly. Just follow me. She went to the checkout counter. What does our flag mean to you? Gabby asked the librarian. See, they're checking out their book. The librarian told them that the flag stands for America and America means freedom. I can read any book I want, she said. At Two Sisters Market, the short sister said the flag means she helps choose the leaders. I vote in every election, she said. Mr. Yang, the doorman at 3J's building, told them the flag means hope. The flag tells me that if I work hard, I can have a good life in this country. The next day at school, everybody shared. Then Mr. Toto asked, how do we celebrate something that means so many things? Nobody had any ideas. Then Gabby noticed something. 3J was wearing a red shirt. Alex had on a blue shirt, and her own shirt was white. She began to get an idea. Let's make a people flag on the playground, she said. Everyone in the town can help. That will show that the flag is about people and all the different ways they love America. On Flag Day, the whole town formed a flag. Flag Day is in June, by the way. So you can look that up later on today and mark that in your calendar. And maybe in your community, you can get some people together and form a flag. It was a flag for all. See all the people? And that's the end of our story today. It was a little bit shorter, but I thought it was a very good message for everyone to see and to hear and to read about. So thank you for listening and enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you, Jim. We appreciate that book. Definitely, I like the fact that it was different types of people, which we know our world is, our United States of America is made up of all different type of people with different backgrounds and all different type of things. And the fact that they all were able to come together to create their own flag was even more creative. And I think that just speaks to the creativity of even our generations of people. And I like the fact that you told them when the flag day is, because I'm like, I know it's flag day. I wasn't sure of the month. So thank you for the reminder. And I think that it was good that we were able to encourage and let the young people know what this was all about. So I thank you for sharing that book. I thank Debbie as well for coming on and sharing her book as well. And I think these are two awesome books. Jim, can you put that book back up so they know the name as well for that? A Flag for All. So I'm sure you can actually pick that book up as well at your local bookstore, even on Amazon. And please get these books to put into your libraries. These are some good and great books that they are sharing. Again, we thank you for tuning in today to 365 Reading as well. It is started from October 1st, 2020 and ends September the 30th, 2021. So you can tune in every day at 11 o'clock a.m. and you will hear some awesome readers reading to you. So please, please, please come on out. We want you to please take part in this. Share this, like this. Make sure you're following the American Literacy Corporation Facebook page. And if you want to go back to listen to this, parents, administrators, teachers, you can always go back and you can use this as story time in your personal time. So again, we thank you for tuning in and we appreciate you for listening to 365 Reading today with the American Literacy Corporation. Again, this is your host, Jamar Johnson, and it has been a pleasure to host you on today. Thank you, Debbie Johnson, and thank you, Mr. Jim Gallagher. You guys all have a good day.